Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first rendition of Fallout's Apex Legends Global Series Power Rankings. That's right, I'll be taking some time to rank the top teams across our major regions of the Apex Legends Global Series, and guess what? The rankings are absolute. They're final. You can't disagree. If you disagree, I'm actually in Caustic's lab. You will get the curse of 50 deaths to a Caustic in your next 50 games, so you better agree with me in the comments and on Twitter. No, but jokes aside, I'm actually really looking forward to the dialogue that this is going to create. Any feedback you guys have, your opinions. Will TSM still be the number one team? There's a lot of discussion around that. Or, of course, Complexity, Chronologic Gaming, they pack a lot of a punch. Can they be the number one team? Or is Team Liquid, and the fact that they've been trending upwards alongside Solifide and others, will they be the number one team? I'm going to go ahead and lay it all out for you with some statistics, with some knowledge, and of course, I've casted every single Apex Legends Global Series event, so I might know a thing or two about these teams, but I'm excited to see what you all think in regards to these rankings. Well, let's get started. Coming in fifth place in the Apex Legends Global Series Power Rankings for North America, we have Chronologic Gaming. That's right. I know a lot of people could argue that CLG is a top 3 team or a top 2 team. They've won more tournaments than many over the last 8 months, including the PGL Showdown, including the Summer Circuit Playoffs, Summer Circuit Online Tournament number 4, and of course they won one of the Winter Circuit tournaments as well. However, they've been trending downwards over the last few months. They have not performed up to par in the Autumn Circuit and in the Winter Circuit. That could be because of the roster change. Of course, picking up a new player is never easy, but when that player is Lou, you expect them to win as more often and play a little more consistent than they have. However, the ceiling for this team is incredibly high, so expect them, if they're all playing on all cylinders, to be able to pop off. My big question is, Lou said in the interview himself following their win in Winter Circuit number 2, he plays so much different than Madness does. He is an aggressive player. He's from the Complexity or former FlyQuest breed of Monsoon and others. But Madness, well, former Team Skirt and Chronologic Gaming alongside Vaxlon, they like to play more passive. They are one of the most placement-heavy teams. They are one of the lowest kill-heavy teams, and that obviously is a little bit contrasting how how Lou of Chronologic Gaming plays. So I'm excited to see what they can do. Their ceiling is high, but the question is, can they mesh as a team? For that reason, I'm ranking them 5th. Biggest thing to note here is their average placement in Winter Circuit is currently 10.5, despite a really strong start in the first 2 tournaments of a 4th place and a 1st place finish. They haven't looked so great with a 20th place and 17th place finish in Winter Circuit tournament number 3 and number 4. Also, they didn't even qualify for the Autumn Circuit playoffs that was just a few months ago. They didn't even make it past the Last Chance qualifiers. The fact that they had to play in the Last Chance qualifiers makes me question putting them higher than anything but 5th place. Moving on to number 4 in the power rankings for North America. Team Liquid is your number 4 team, and yes, there could be a strong argument to keep them completely outside of the top 5 given their very poor Autumn Circuit showings. They placed 23rd, 31st, 17th, and 38th place in the Autumn Circuit. They, of course, did make it to the playoffs, and they got 9th place in the playoffs. Not the best Autumn Circuit performance. However, many people could say that could be due to Casper, of course, dealing with many personal issues at the time. I believe Hodsik subbed in for one of those tournaments. And, of course, the pickup of Alberlelli. It takes time for a team to mesh, like I just said, for Chronologic Gaming. However, the reason they're number 4, the reason they're such a high-ranking team is because they are the best consistent placing team in the Winter Circuit. They are trending nothing but upwards. Their average placement in Winter Circuit appearances is 4.25, which is the best of any North American team. They've gotten 7th, then 4th, then 1st, and after a Hail Mary Bangalore game in Game 6 of the last online tournament number 4, they got 5th place somehow. Went from like 17th to 5th. It was ridiculous. Shout out to, I think it was Flanker on Bangalore. But most importantly, you got to give respect to this team. You got to put respect on their name. Alberlelli, one of the best players in North America, hands down, top 5 player. One of the best IGLs in North America, in my opinion, which is, also in my opinion, one of the reasons that him on TSM did not necessarily work out. Him and Hal obviously have kind of similar personalities in terms of both being strong leaders, strong voices in IGLs. I think he fits this Team Liquid squad really well. A little bit more of a soft-spoken Nocturnal and Flanker, a coach in Hodsik who's phenomenal, and they've been trending nothing but up. So expect them to only do even better. I put them at number 4 in the power rankings. All right, this is where things get interesting. Number 3 in the Apex Legends Global Series power rankings is Complexity. And a lot of people could say Complexity is right up there in the top 2. They have been for a very long time. And there's a good argument to make for that, right? They dominated the Autumn Circuit with a 2nd, 15th, 3rd, 1st, and then, of course, a championship win in the Autumn Circuit playoffs with an average placement of 4.4. The best team of any team in the Autumn Circuit. They looked great, but their winter circuit play has been dismal. They did not start very strong. They've been trending upwards, which is why you have to still put them in your top 3. And most importantly, in my opinion, this is the highest ceiling team of any team in the game. If you have a complexity roster that is well practiced, that is warmed up, that is playing confident, no team in the lobby can beat them. They are the best pound-for-pound team when they're all on fire. Reptar, absolutely insane, but Reptar also absolutely inconsistent in his play. I know he's very self-critical and self-aware, and he was in the last online tournament, number 4. Even though they had a really, really good showing, they got 3rd place. I think he's still considered the performance on his end not up to par, because consistency really is a question, not just for him, but for this roster in general. In my eyes, the biggest question mark for complexity, I wouldn't even say a question mark, the biggest downfall of complexity is their confidence. For some reason, despite them being, in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound team in Apex Legends, period, they still don't always have the confidence and play with the confidence that they need. They always, if you listen to them in their comms, they always feel and sound confident, but you question some of their decisions sometimes. But in my eyes, overall, Monsoon, one of the best players in the game. I've been very, very outspoken in my support of him as a top 3 player in all of Apex Legends. I will stand by that. Reptar, and of course, Shiny, so much consistency from him. Overall, I put Complexity in 3rd place. Top 3 team in North America is obviously still great. Dwindling down to our top 2. I feel like I should do a drum roll or something, because this is where things will get maybe a little controversial. Probably not. Solafide in 2nd place. And I know going into the winter circuit, online tournament number 4, I said that Solafide is the best team, period. Well, their performance in winter circuit number 4 made me eat my words real quick. However, still a top 2 team. Could be controversial. A lot of people could say they haven't had the championship wins that Complexity and CLG and other teams have. However, in my opinion, one of the most consistent teams over the last 3 months. Autumn Circuit playoffs win of 2nd place in the Autumn Circuit playoffs, and since then they've been dominating. Their average placement in the Autumn Circuit was not great. It was 9th. However, their winter circuit average placement is 6th, with a 1st place finish, winning the first one, 5th place finish, 2nd place finish, and then of course a poor 17th or 16th, I think it was, place finish in winter circuit tournament number 4. Not the best showing in the last tournament. However, in my opinion, the nerfs to Caustic will help them significantly. I know for a while they were running Caustic as their 3rd. I think Designful was playing Caustic instead of Bloodhound. I was very critical of that. I thought they should go back to Bloodhound. They did. They found success since. I think it fits their playstyle really, really well. Now that Caustic's going to be seen much less, thank goodness, personally, I'm excited at the fact that they get buffed a little bit. They can fly at teams without the fear of Caustic Gas slowing them down or griefing them. I'm excited to see what they can do. I think they're going to do big things going into the playoffs. I put them at number 2, not number 1, because you can't deny it. Team Solo Mid, or TSM, is the best team in Apex Legends. Now, a lot of you TSM haters, there's so many of y'all, I don't know why, so many people just like to hate on TSM. It drives me crazy sometimes. Hear me out. They are the best average placing team across the last 2 circuits, with an average placement of 5.975. That is insane. Across the last, I think it's 9 tournaments, of course, including the Winter Circuit playoffs, they've averaged a 5.975 placement. They got 6th, 4th, 1st, 2nd, and then 3rd in the Autumn Circuit playoffs with an average placement of 3.2, which is insane. Winter Circuit, they've slowed down a little bit. Yes, they have not looked as great. I don't think that the rise of Caustic helped them. I think it significantly hurt them, given they were running an aggressive Bloodhound composition. They were changing things up. They got 6th, 14th, 11th, then 4th, trending a little bit upwards for TSM. Similar to Solafide, I think the Caustic nerfs are going to help them significantly. I think the fact that they changed up their legend composition, I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but they have Snipedown playing Wraith. They have Imperial Hal playing Gibraltar, which I don't think anyone would have predicted going into that last tournament, but I think it fits their playstyle well. Imperial Hal, one of the best IGLs and shot callers in all of Apex Legends, playing Gibraltar on the back line, being able to play a little bit more support and actually see what's going on for the field, also being the team player that has to kind of be the rock, drop dome shields when it's important, make the pivotal calls. Dome shields are probably one of the most important calls you can make as an IGL. Now he doesn't have to wait for that split second for it to be called and for Reps to drop it. I think it's a good fit. I think Reps, of course, playing Bloodhound is interesting. Reps, in my opinion, does not get respect for being a top individual player, ridiculous mechanics, absolute fragger, and in my opinion, Reps, most consistent player in all of Apex Legends, in my eyes. Solid, always. And I think he's a top 5, top 10 player probably in all of ALGS. So I'm excited to see what TSM can do until you prove me otherwise, until the Winter Circuit shows up and they don't perform. I think they're still the number 1 team, given their consistency in placements and their dominance consistently over the last 4 months since the Autumn Circuit. Of course, they played well in the Summer Circuit as well, but that was with Alberelli. Much different team than it is now. I think it's a great team and a great roster with experience. You can never knock Snipedown's experience as a former Halo champion. Apex Legends champion on Rogue and TSM, and second place silver medalist at the X Games. You also can't sleep on, the TSM GOATs. Back to back to back to back to back. Yes, I had to say all 5 of them. 5 times in a row championships from the X Games all the way until online tournament number 2 last February or March. TSM is no joke. Reps and Imperial Hal as a duo, phenomenal. Snapdown, I think, helps his team significantly and fits them really, really well because he knows how to fit in a roster. So there you have it, the first ever, the inaugural Fallout's Apex Legends Global Series Power Rankings for North America. Stay tuned for the next video for Europe. That's where things are going to be very interesting because in Europe, it's a mixed bag. It's a toss-up in many, many tournaments. But I do think that there's a very solid argument for a top 5 power rankings in EU, and I'm excited to talk through that. Would love to hear your thoughts, though. Make sure to post in the comments and also tweet at me at Falloutt with 2 T's and tweet out the article as well if you like the rankings or if you disagree and want to tweet and provide your commentary. I'll be retweeting as many as I can. And a big shout out, of course, to the home for esports. It's esports.gg.